say that, get away with it.
All right, welcome back to the garage. I've spent my summer cruising Lucille around on the weekends, going to shows and ripping around town. Now, if you wonder why I call her Lucille, that's her calling card back there. She's got a loose seal on the transmission, causes her to leak transmission fluid everywhere she goes. Now, if you watch the TV show Arrested Development, you might find that joke pretty funny. However, I don't, because I've got to do something about the transmission. She also runs a little bit hot, but I'm not too worried about that. I wait until it's kind of later and not the heat of the day to take her out. I love the lines on this car. Looks great. But I wonder what it would look like with a rear spoiler. I believe that these cars didn't come from the factory with a rear spoiler, but some people put them on there. Whenever I bought this car, it actually came with another trunk lid that's drilled out and a spoiler that's painted. Let's go check those out. Okay, here's that trunk lid and spoiler, and you can see the holes are already drilled out. They're not very symmetrical. I assume this is the way they were from the factory. I don't know. It looks like somebody cut them with a cutting torch. But anyway, spoiler, trunk lid. We should marry those together. Now, see if I can do this with one hand without dropping stuff. This thing's got studs on the back side of it. The front ones are longer than the rear ones. And they just slide through the holes and bolt up. Now then, I don't drive my car in the rain too much, but I do wash it from time to time, and I'd hate for water to run down into the trunk through these holes and the gaps around this stuff. So I was thinking of some way to like make a gasket or some way to seal up these holes. I originally had found these are what are these called? These are spigot washers. Okay, so you got a spigot on the outside of your house. This washer goes in there. I figured I could drill that out and slide that over, and it kind of works, but I don't like it. Wanted something a little softer. I don't think these things will cover the holes completely either because they're so oblong. So I got this stuff. This is simple strap. This is actually for tying stuff down in the bed of your truck or something. I don't know. Anyway, it cuts really easy. You can punch holes in it. It kind of works, but I don't really like that either. But what I do have, what I think I am going to use, is this stuff here. This is RV sealant, and it comes on a roll, and it's just basically gooey junk. And if I put a little bit around each one of these bolt holes, whenever it squishes down, it'll squish out nice and flat and seal it up good. So let's give that a try. So this stuff is kind of like silly putty or chewed bubble gum. You just pull it off here and squish it together, make a little snake out of it, and then wrap it around the stud sticking out there. Then I use this washer here to kind of press it flat. I want to make sure that it isn't too thick, doesn't stick out too far past the edge of this. But I'll throw those on there and then we can put it together. Okay, I think that's going to work just fine. You can see it squished around the holes here, like that guy there. And those guys, I think it'll be just fine. I'm going to throw some washers on underneath these nuts, and that should squish it nice and flat. Any excess that squeezes out underneath here, I can just kind of pick off and not worry too much about. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if this shows up on camera, but the lip of this thing, just the very edge of it, didn't get any paint on it whenever it was painted. I wonder if that's going to show up on the car. Anyway, I'll keep monkeying around, see what we get. Okay, got her bolted on there real good. Cleaned off where that weather stripping stuff had kind of oozed out of there. I think it looks real good. Let's go pull the deck lid off the Firebird. All right, let's go check on Lucille. Oh, would you look at that? There's a lift in here. Somebody put a 4-post lift in here while I wasn't looking. Would you look at that? Now, I got this a couple days ago from Lift King. It's the Lift King XXL, fits in the garage real nice. Matches the Firebird just about in the color, but fits in here just perfect. And that's where Lucille's going to spend her time, and then I can raise her up, get her out of the way, and have room for activities down here. Thanks a bunch to Ross and Davina and Ty and Zach. Ty and Zach came and installed the thing. Ross at Lift King, thanks a bunch. This thing's awesome. Okay, let's see if we can get this deck lid off of here. Luckily, I've got a fair amount of room to still work and get around the lift in here. I think it'll be just fine. Oh, there's a bunch of junk. Need to clean that out. Let's unbolt this guy and get it out of the way. Okay, I figured instead of having to climb around the car every time that I needed to go get a wrench or go get something or do something else, I'd just turn it around. I would do it outside here, but it's kind of rainy and pooey, so I'm just going to work on it here. So let's get to it. Before I get too crazy, I figured I'd throw some towels down to maybe protect the paint, keep from scratching it. I also marked the hinges just along the corner here of each side, so that if I put this deck lid back on there, I should be able to put it back on there a little bit easier. Okay, I've got the old deck lid there, the new deck lid on here. Getting it swapped out, getting it lined up. It's got these rubber grommets on it here. Here's one of them here, and they've just got a little kind of butt plug looking thing that goes in a hole over here in the corner. Now it's also got a hole here, and I find these, in order to get them in, you can only push them so far and then they don't actually stay in. So what I do is I've got a pick tool, this little pick tool here that I kind of broke the end off of, but it fits in that hole pretty well, like so. Well, I just dropped it. You can get this guy up in here like so, and then stick this pick tool in it and then snap it into place. It works pretty well. Okay, if you're doing that, you want to be really careful because that pick will tear all the way through it. Luckily, be gentle and it won't. I got to adjust the springs here as well. See the trunk lid springs, they pivot here, and there are grooves in this trunk lid hinge. So I'm going to drop that down one, and that'll add a little bit of tension. Since the deck lid with the spoiler on it is heavier than the other one, and what I've got is I've just got a little piece of metal tubing here. I'm just going to slide that on the end of this guy into the spring here, and then I should be able to pry it down and get it into that latch. I don't know if you can see that, but I was able to drop that down and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I think I've got her all adjusted and lined up. There we go. Like a glove. Got the gaps nice and even on either side just about. It sets up a little bit high whenever you look across it like that, but I'm not too worried about it. It's got a good gap across the front for the most part. Yeah. Let's pull her out of here and see how she looks. All right, just got back from a little shakedown run and it didn't fall off, so that's a win in my book. I think I like it. I think now it looks like an actual muscle car instead of a secretary's car. Not that it ever did, but you know what I mean. You know, just smooth line comes down and around, and then you got this little ducktail sticking up. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'm gonna end this video right here and keep cruising. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.